We work with quite a few pilots here at Wiser Wealth Management, and with that, a common question we get asked is, should you, as a pilot, invest in aviation stock? And, this might seem like a pretty, cut and dry question, but it's something that, when it comes down to it, we actually need to look kind of at that broader financial picture a little bit here. Because, generally speaking, of course, it's not something that we would want you to have all of your eggs in one basket. Now, for our pilots, typically they have, great protections associated with them, whether it be that, you have your great unions that you are a part of, or, even just the fact that a lot of your benefits packages are really robust and great, and they allow you to save quite a bit for retirement. So with that, it makes it to where you have this added buffer where you could invest in aviation stock or even your company's stock. But with the caveat, we'd only like to see you do this if there is, some sort of discount associated with it. So if you were to say, okay, well, I work at Delta Airlines and Delta Airlines will allow me to purchase, their stock at a 15% discount. Okay, well, then that could be a very worthwhile purchase for you as far as an opportunity to invest, especially if it's something that you've already built up a lot of your investments elsewhere and you're not as, concentrated into Delta itself, because the last thing you want to have happen is that you're working for Delta and you're flying your trips and say there's an economic downturn, say that there is, no longer as many trips to be flown because, that demand has fallen. And now you're sitting at a spot where you can't just pick up a trip to earn, some extra money. So maybe your income, takes a bit of a dip. And then with that, now you might even see your investments take a dip if you're primarily invested in aviation stock. So you want to make sure you have great diversification in addition to this. So I won't tell you it's a cut and dry no, of course, or a cut and dry yes, because it really does boil down to, is this something that's actually beneficial? Is it an opportunity I can actually take advantage of and be realistic with? And so with that, if you are going to take advantage of the opportunity that's presented itself to purchase aviation stock, then there's definitely, an opportunity there that then you would want to say, okay, well, now I need to be thinking about my liquidity strategy. So say, okay, you purchase, this amount in say January of 2026. Okay, well, then you need to be thinking, okay, well, by January of 2027, I want to potentially, be selling out of this, get that long-term gain, but then let's move out of it, depending on what account you put it in. But definitely something that, you don't want to be holding on to it too long, or you at least want to have a strategy there, depending on what you could be looking at, just to make sure that you're not going to be over-concentrated. And you want to be more mindful about that because there's so many areas you can be diversifying your funds. And the last thing you want to have happen is, again, all of your eggs in one basket with the aviation industry. So I hope that helps answer that question. If you have further questions, don't hesitate to reach out to our office at Wiser Wealth Management.